5. Star Trek Voyager Season 2 episodes you can completely skip. When Star Trek Voyager launched in 1995, it carried the burden of being both a continuation of Star Trek's legacy and a reinvention of the franchise for the 1990s. Its second season, airing from 1995 to 1996, had plenty of memorable moments: Kes developing her telepathic powers, the rise of Seska as a recurring antagonist, and explorations of Voyager's unique predicament stranded in the Delta Quadrant. But like every season of Star Trek, not every episode is essential. Some entries feel like filler, recycle older Trek tropes without adding anything new, or simply don't advance character arcs or the larger story. For newcomers or rewatchers, these episodes can safely be skipped without missing much context. Here are 5 Voyager Season 2 episodes you can completely skip and why. 1. Elogium, Episode 4. Elogium tries to explore a fascinating idea. What happens when a member of a short-lived species like the Ocampa hits premature puberty due to the presence of space-dwelling life forms? In practice, however, the episode falls flat. Kes suddenly finds herself undergoing her species' reproductive cycle decades earlier than expected, forcing her and Neelix into awkward discussions about starting a family. The episode aims for a thoughtful meditation on reproduction choice and biological pressure, but instead delivers uncomfortable scenes between characters who don't have the chemistry to carry the story. The Neelix/Kes romance was already polarizing among fans, and this episode only made it more awkward. Beyond that, nothing that happens here impacts the wider series. Kes doesn't have a child, and her future growth is handled much more compellingly in later episodes like Cold Fire and Before and After. Why you can skip it: it's mostly a one-off biology lesson that adds little to Kes's character and nothing to the overall Voyager story. 2. Threshold, Episode 15. Perhaps the most infamous episode of Voyager, and often cited as one of the worst in all of Star Trek, Threshold is remembered less for its story and more for its bizarre conclusion. In this episode, Tom Paris achieves Warp 10, theoretically becoming capable of occupying all points in the universe simultaneously. Instead of enlightenment, Paris experiences terrifying side effects. He mutates, kidnaps Captain Janeway, and the two transform into giant salamander-like creatures who mate. By the end, Voyager's crew retrieves them, resets their biology, and the whole ordeal is brushed aside as if nothing ever happened. While Star Trek has always stretched science for the sake of drama, Threshold breaks suspension of disbelief entirely. The salamander ending has become a running joke among fans, undermining any attempt the episode makes at exploring ambition, risk, or the dangers of pushing past known limits. While you can skip it, nothing here is ever referenced again. Paris and Janeway's strange lizard offspring are conveniently abandoned, and the reset button gets slammed so hard that the episode feels like it never happened. 3. Twisted, Episode 6. Twisted presents an intriguing premise. Voyager becomes trapped in a spatial distortion that bends and rearranges the ship's interior, disorienting the crew. Unfortunately, what could have been an inventive bottle episode quickly becomes repetitive and meandering. Most of the runtime is spent watching the crew walk in circles through endless corridors, trying to figure out how to escape. The climax? They don't actually solve the problem. The distortion wave passes through the ship harmlessly, and everything is fine. The episode closes with the crew admitting they have no idea what just happened. While confusion and uncertainty could have made for a great tension-building story, Twisted doesn't develop the crew, the ship, or Voyager's ongoing struggles in the Delta Quadrant. It feels like a story drafted on the back of a napkin, a neat idea without enough meat to carry a full episode. Why you can skip it: it's 45 minutes of wandering hallways with zero payoff, no character growth, no lasting consequences, and no memorable moments. 4. Innocence, Episode 22. Innocence centers on Tuvok crash landing a shuttle and encountering a group of alien children who claim they're stranded. As Tuvok helps protect them from apparent dangers, the episode slowly reveals that these aren't children at all. They're elders of their species who physically de-age as they approach death. On paper, this is an intriguing sci-fi twist. In practice, however, the episode plays out as a clumsy morality tale, bogged down by wooden dialogue and an uninspired alien of the weak culture. Tuvok's logical patience with the children could have provided interesting insight into his Vulcan parenting style, but instead the script plays it safe, leaving us with a forgettable and oddly melodramatic story. Innocence doesn't contribute to Tuvok's long-term character development, nor does it connect meaningfully to Voyager's journey. It's another standalone entry that feels like a filler script left over from the Next Generation. While you can skip it, the central concept is mildly interesting, but the execution is dull and the payoff underwhelming. There are far better Tuvok episodes to watch. 5. The 37s Episode 1. The 37s had the potential to be one of Voyager's greats. The crew discovers a group of humans abducted from Earth in 1937, including Amelia Earhart herself, cryogenically frozen on a distant planet. Revived, these humans reveal that their descendants have built a thriving society in the Delta Quadrant. Sounds incredible, right? Unfortunately, the episode never delivers on its promise. Instead of exploring the fascinating implications of humans existing halfway across the galaxy, the story devolves into a half-baked discussion about whether Voyager's crew should settle with the colonists or continue their journey home. Unsurprisingly, they all choose to stay aboard Voyager, and the colonist society is left behind, never to be seen again. The presence of Amelia Earhart, a legendary historical figure, deserved more than this undercooked script. Instead, she and the other 20th century humans are little more than props for a story that resolves too neatly. While you can skip it, while the idea is intriguing, the episode squanders its historical guest star and introduces a society that's never mentioned again, making it ultimately irrelevant to Voyager's ongoing narrative. Why skipping matters? One of the challenges with Voyager Season 2 is its uneven pacing. Some episodes explore deep character arcs, like Meld Tuvok's disturbing mind meld with a murderer or resistance, Janeway's powerful bond with an alien resistance fighter, while others feel like filler designed to meet a 26-episode order. The 5 episodes above fall into the latter category. They either rely on contrived sci-fi gimmicks, fail to advance the story, or simply don't stand the test of time. By skipping them, a viewer can streamline Season 2 into a tighter, more rewarding experience. What to watch instead? If you're trimming down Season 2 but still want the best of Voyager, here are episodes worth prioritizing. Projections Episode 3, a gripping Doctor-centered story questioning reality. Meld Episode 16, Tuvok and guest star Brad Dourif deliver one of the season's most intense psychological dramas. Death Wish Episode 18, a provocative Q episode exploring mortality, autonomy, and meaning. Resistance Episode 12, Janeway shines in a moving tale about memory and rebellion. Basics Part I Episode 26, the Seska arc builds to an explosive cliffhanger. These are the episodes that define Season 2 and showcase what made Voyager distinct. Final thoughts. Every Star Trek series has its highs and lows, and Voyager's second season is no diff.